So we've been talking for quite a while now about spiritual warfare. And now I want to talk about being dressed for battle. And I think it's truly an important thing that we have to discuss. But one of the things that I want us to do is switch gears just a little bit. I think it's really important that we go back to where we began. The very first message that I preached in this whole spiritual warfare series went back to the very beginning, when there was a battle in heaven. And we remember the story, I hope, that Lucifer, filled with his own arrogance and pride, decided that he wanted to be God. That he ought to be the person who sits on the throne of God. And he convinced the third of the angelic beings, that we now recognize as demons, not angels, that to be on his side and strive for the throne of God. And there was an encounter between God and between Lucifer that day. And on that day, God went up 1-0. And that just is how it has played ever since. There became this intense battle on earth. And honestly, evil was winning the day. And so into a corrupt, dark, dying world, God sent His champion, His Son, Jesus. And after 33 years of life, Jesus took the battle very, very personally. After an entire lifetime of having the devil trying to defeat and destroy Jesus, Jesus ended up on the cross. And at the very moment that the devil thought he had won, God turned the tables on him and went up 2-0. Because on the third day, Jesus arose from the grave. Right? And He lives, never to taste death again. And so Lucifer has fought 2 real battles and lost twice. And the Bible goes on to talk in the book of Revelation about one more gigantic clash, good versus evil. Satan gathers all of his forces. And they're so numerous you can't even count them. And they're coming to do battle against the people of God. And the forces are gathered. And it looks like a horrible day. And into this day, the Lord Jesus comes. And the thing about, as you read the encounter in Revelations, the only thing that you next hear is the description of Jesus and what He looks like and how He comes, what's His name, and the sword of the Spirit. And the battle's over. That's like it never really even started. Just like Jesus shows up and that's it. It's over. And so there are 3 major battles between God and the enemy of God, the highest created being, Lucifer. And God wins all 3. 2 of them have been done. The third is yet to come. But do you understand that when it comes to power encounters, every time there is a spiritual battle, God is greater and can win every time. Every single time, God is greater. The victory is His. The battle belongs to the Lord. He can win every single time if we are willing to patiently wait for His deliverance. That's a good place to go. I mean, we've been talking about all the different schemes, all the different tactics, and what we need to do as believers in Jesus to overcome the tactics of the devil. But you know what? When push comes to shove, every once in a while, we just got to sit here where the victory belongs to the Lord and trust Him for the way things fall out. The story I want to reveal to you, or tell to you, is found in 1 Samuel. If you like to follow along while I tell a story, please go ahead. You can turn to 1 Samuel chapter 17. But I just want to tell you the story. It's a story about a boy named David who was a teenager. He's probably 15, 16, 17 years old at the time. And his job is to tend his family's sheep. He is a shepherd, and he guards the family flock. All of his older brothers have joined the army and have gone off to war against the Philistines. They are following King Saul into battle. And one day, Jesse, who was David's dad, says to David, I want you to take this packet of goodies to your brothers, and I want to find out how they're doing. So bring back word, what's going on, how they're doing. I mean, we haven't heard it in a good while, so let's go find out. And so David goes with his goodie bag and kind of has to make the delivery to his brothers, find out how they're doing, and bring back word for Dad. But much to his amazement, when he gets there, he's not finding a battle going on at all. In fact, there are these massive armies that have gathered, but there's no fighting at all. In fact, he scratches his head and he looks around and he sees all the army of God hiding and acting as though they are afraid and scared. And the only thing he can hear is one lone voice. Now that's the voice of Goliath, the giant. Now, the Goliath the giant is truly a giant. He's at least 9 feet tall in all likelihood, and he carries a sword that's probably as big as most of the men he's about to fight. I mean, he's just a mammoth being for the day and for the age in which they were living. And David looks around as he hears Goliath calling out for a champion to be found among the Israelite people to come out and fight. Why should thousands upon thousands go to war when we can fight this one-on-one, man-to-man, settle this thing? He says, you send your champion, I'll fight for the Philistines. If I win, you serve us forever. If you win, we'll serve you forever. Like it was possible, right? Well, no one is willing to take up the fight for the people of God. Everybody is hiding. King Saul as well. Where is Saul? Where's Jonathan? Where are the men of valor? Where are the fighting men? For crying out loud, what's going on with David's brothers? They're the big, strong, burly men. They make fun of David. He's just a little shepherd boy. But they're hiding out. They're afraid. And David's trying to figure out what's going on. You know, talks to his brothers. Guys, come on, go do it. Which one of you is going to take them on? I mean, how cool would that be? See, David wasn't afraid. The rest of the Israelite nation was afraid, but David wasn't. Now, the reason David wasn't afraid is because he had this very calm assurance that the battle was in the hands of God. And if God wanted victory, victory is what was going to happen. And there was no question about it in David's mind. And so David finally said, for crying out loud, I'll do it. Well, his brothers make fun of him. Go home and watch the sheep, you little shepherd boy. But somebody's got to fight him. I'll go do it. Eventually he gets to King Saul and says, Saul, I'll do it. I'll take him. Saul is so glad, he says, here, wear my armor. David can't put it on. It doesn't fit. It's not going to work out. But you know the rest of the story, don't you? David went with some stones and a sling. And the first stone went into the sling, and the sling went round and round. And the second stone went into the sling, and the sling went round and round and round and... Oh, never mind. One shot is all it takes. Right in the middle of the forehead. He sinks a stone a couple inches deep into his forehead, drops the giant dead. He then does the guy thing and takes his own sword and cuts off his head and says, look, we won. Why did David win that battle? Was it because he was stronger than Goliath? No. Was it because he could throw further than Goliath? No. Was it because he was some valiant person, better than life, bigger than life? No. They won because he recognized the battle was the Lord's. It's something we all have to come to terms with. As we go against our spiritual giants, our own Goliaths, we got to remember that the battle is the Lord's.